It is quite surprising in Zimbabwe, whereby we have a very smallest population of around 12 million to 15 million people, and also a country that is expected that it is a country that is coming from the Christian background. You know, Zimbabwe is one of the countries that is counted to have a lot of Christians when we are comparing to other countries. Now, what is amazing is this, that minister gave a warning to the prophets concerning the issues of coup. Now, that's what I want to respond to, especially talking about myself and on my side, because I'm one of those prophets who have given prophecies concerning the coup. But I want the minister, Kazembe, to clearly understand that it is better to be forewarned. There is nothing wrong in prophesying and predicting the future. You have been put on the throne and wherever you are to govern and to provide for the people of Zimbabwe, to give them whatever they need, their needs, to secure the people of Zimbabwe. Foretelling and predicting, it will never be a case of inciting people or bringing fear upon the people, but it is giving direction to the people so that people will know what is coming next. The same applies to the prophecies that have been given concerning coronavirus, the civil wars, and the different kind of things that have been prophesied about, not only in Zimbabwe, but everywhere, all over the world, in every country. So now, why am I responding to this like this? The issue of a coup, according to me, I gave the prophecy about the coup. Because when I gave that prophecy, I was strongly against the coup. I clearly said that people of Zimbabwe, we should not do any coup again. Why? Because we did it in the first place, but it has taken us into the oldest dispensation that we have never imagined that it could have been. We thought that if we ran and support the coup and support the army when they did the coup, we thought that we are going to get into the new dispensation. As I have heard you, Minister Kazembe, you were saying that we are in an era of new dispensation. I am clearly wondering, what kind of new dispensation are you talking about? What is new currently in the nation of Zimbabwe? If it is not the poverty, if it is not the suffering of the people, if it is not all the kind of things that are people facing in the nation of Zimbabwe, that's what is new. Because currently the position that our nation is, it is far much backward. I would want you to get me very clear. I am not a political activist and I am not affiliated to any political party. But I stand in the position of a prophet, an office of a prophet, whereby I speak what is in the mind of God. And I am there to direct the nation so that the nation will not fall in the pit of destruction. What do I mean by that? If you listen very carefully on the prophets that I have given when that talks about the coup, I said, people of Zimbabwe, never ever engage in a coup, because if a coup happens again, it will bring blood on the ground. It will make people to suffer again more than the way they are suffering. And I clearly said that the coup, it might be planned, whatever that is being planned, it is not the will of God. It is now simply the fight of power, which is power hungry. So therefore, God is not in support. God can allow it to happen, as it happened within the former president, Robert Mugabe. It was not the will of God for that coup to happen. Any political leader, I know very sure that you agree with me, it was not the will of God, but it was the fight of power. Because even up to now, I really don't know what was the purpose of that coup, because nothing has changed so far. In fact, things are worsening. People are dying. Why am I talking about the death of people? It is the office of the prophet that must respond to those kind of things. And I will quote from the Bible. Remember, when the king of Israel saw that there is poverty in the nation, and the king tore off his clothes when people had come to a level whereby they had started to eating each other. And the king said, "Is there no God in Israel?" And he knew very well that there is a prophet by the name Elisha. And he said, "Please bring me the head of Elisha here." The king wanted to kill Elisha. Why? Because Elisha was silent concerning the issue of the famine that was in the land. And yet people were dying. The silence of a prophet were about to make him to die. So that's when the prophet, then when he was in the presence of the king and his protocol, he then said, "Tomorrow by the gate there shall be flour that will be sold there." He opened up his mouth and surely there was flour. Taking you again into the Bible, there is another issue that is there whereby Elisha was about to die and Joash was the king. He came to Elisha and began to cry for the death of Elisha before Elisha died. And then Elisha gave an instruction and said, "Take a bow and arrow, point to the eastward," and then he released the arrow. And then take arrows, smite on the ground. And when he did that, the prophet was ordering the life and preserving the life of the people, preserving the people of God in advance. When the king smite on the ground, then the prophet said he should have smitten 5 or 6 times. Why? Because this is the defeating of the Syrians that you are doing. So you have smited on the ground 3 times, which means you shall defeat the Syrians 3 times. I cannot give all examples that are in the Bible. That clearly explains the mandate of a prophet when it comes to political issues and the preservation of the people of God. We always put people at heart. No wonder why I clearly said that coup should never happen. Coup should never happen. Why? Because it will bring more suffering in the nation of Zimbabwe, and people will begin to suffer more and more and more and more. So this is my position, Mr. Minister, and concluding that I am not speaking this because I am afraid of any threat, but again, I am in turn giving you a strong warning when it comes to the issues of God. Do everything you can, but don't touch the prophets of God. The prophets of God do not touch. I repeat again. Why? A prophet can die, but the word that he speaks will never die if the word is coming from God. We respect the authorities, as according to Romans chapter 13. The Bible encourages us to respect the authorities that have been put by God. We respect and we honor you. We respect you as you are sitting in office. But you should also understand that you should respect the men of God. No matter the position you might be in, you should respect the prophets. Why? Because they represent God. They represent God. So whatever the prophets have spoken, let me not talk about others, but I just believe that whatever they have spoken, they were giving you a warning. So I strongly believe that if a person is thinking properly, you should be thanking them that, "Oh, thank you so much for warning us. We are going to take care of that." For example, if somebody come to me and give me a prophecy, say, somebody, let's say, will come and say, "Man of God, there is somebody who is planning to put poison on your water so that when you are preaching, when you take the water, is it to be hot and drink." Then that person claims that he have heard from God. Do you really think that if my mind is working properly, I should be in a position to give threats to that person that, "Why are you speaking like that? Is it you who is planning to kill me?" If I stand in that position of giving a threat to a person who have heard a message from God, warning me on the things that are coming in my way, it means my mind is not working properly. Because the least you should have done is to appreciate what has been spoken and then guard on yourself and protect yourself so that whatever is about to happen will not happen. It can only happen. Remember, I always teach and say, when a prophecy is given, you are the one who determines. If you believe it, you can pray for it and cancel it. But if you don't believe it and you choose to neglect it and give people threats, it will happen. You understand? So like my position, I'm one of the person, if you listen to the prophets that I have given, I'm one of the person who is praying, and I have even told people not to engage in a coup. Why? Because it will bring more suffering. Chakatanga ndo chakachenjedza. We ended in a coup in 2017 and we ended up where we are today. And I strongly believe that each and every Zimbabwean knows the position where he is right now. As comparing from 2017. 2017 zvaiti ngenani zvinhu. Zvaiva zvakaoma but zvaitova nani. But kubva apa pakatorwa pakaitwa coup pakapindwa pachigaro. Things have become very worse, and I believe that you, minister, you agree with me when it comes to that. So what I am simply saying is this: at least show some appreciation to the prophets for warning you on whatever that is going to happen. And anyway, we are praying so that the coup will not happen. Not because we want you to stay there on the throne, no, but because we want to preserve the people. We don't pray so that anybody stays on the throne, but we pray for the will of God to manifest. So this is one thing that you should clearly understand. So this is my response to that.